Welcome to another episode of CyberSafe News and Views. My name is Lee and I'll be your guide. In today's episode, personal devices at work. What the small practice owner needs to know. And making the news this week, the AT&T data breach is back in the news. Oh, yay. And remember the good old days when all we had to worry about was our PC hacked? Well, not anymore. Let's talk about it.
Technology is an integral part of our lives. We use it every day, and it extends our access to information through things we can't even see. With technology surrounding us and growing at such a fast rate, knowledge of how to use this resource and stay safe in the meantime is imperative. Welcome to CyberSafe News and Views, where we answer questions and share information to keep you in the know and cybersafe.
In today's topic, personal devices. What does that mean for a small business owner, small practice owner, and what do you need to know? So let's talk about this in more detail. This is a major tension point because if you have to provide a personal device, a cell phone right here, for you to run your practice or small business, well, that's a cost. If you don't provide a device to your employees or the people that work for you, contractors, whatever, well, then there's a security risk. So it's a major contention. And of course, when you hire someone, they walk in with a device. Hey, I want to use this here. Can you allow that? Is it secure? Is it safe? That's a discussion. That's more what we're going to talk about today. So do you want to let them use their phone, their laptop, their tablet? I got a tablet over here. And how do you manage that? When they leave your employ or the practice or what have you, now what do you do? How do you make sure that data didn't walk out of the office with them? So we've got some things to talk about. Imagine, if you will, a staff member. They're working from their personal device. Hey, I'm logged into my practice email right here, and I get a phishing link. I don't know it's a phishing link. I click on it. What happened? It's my personal device. Did my device get hacked? Did they get all my personal data? Do I have videos from the practice or the business on my personal device? Did they get those? So that becomes a major point of contention. How much risk did it actually get off of that device onto your network? Could they have gotten anything in your network? Could they have navigated to your databases, your pertinent information that you use to run your business or practice? It's a concern. So BYOD, I mentioned it already once. Let me define the term. Bring your own device. Is the common understanding. It very, very common. People want to use their own device. They want to walk in and be employed by you and suddenly start using Wi-Fi. And, oh, you need me to do something? Fine, I can do it from my phone. It's very common, but it can be risky. You need to take certain actions to make sure that your data doesn't walk out of the business every day. Now, whether they intended to do it or they didn't, whether they're coming back on Monday morning or they're not, all this is a concern, because if their device gets hacked, what are you responsible for? What are you on the hook for? What data did the hacker get? So lots of concerns here. So the staff, the benefits, the staff are already familiar with their device. They've probably got no PIN, no passcode on there, just probably looks at their face, which is good. Is it good enough? Well, that's more of a conversation. Again, the decisions you need to make. Is it good enough or not? But there's no learning curve. They don't have to learn their own phone. They came with it. That's also a cost savings. You didn't have to buy them a device for the office, for them to do work for you. And this, by the way, I run across this topic, not just in mobile devices, not just in tablets, but also in personal computers. Hey, I'm going to work from home. Can I just work on my own computer? Well, Depends on the level of security that you need and want, but it's convenient. It's something that you didn't have to provide a display, a computer, a mouse, and a keyboard, and then they're just using all their own personal equipment. So it's convenient, it's flexible, it allows for remote staff, and to some degree, it improves morale. Employees like using what they're comfortable with. If they're used to Android and you hand them an iPhone, they're going to look at you sideways. Maybe they get used to it, maybe they don't, and vice versa. If they're used to Mac and you give them a Windows machine. So those are the quick benefits. It's what they're comfortable with. It's what is easy. It's what they can do right out of the box and keep your costs down. But there's some risks associated with that. So when you have somebody bringing their own device to the network, what are your security risks? Well, this device becomes your weakest point on your network. Is it protected? Does it have antivirus? Do you have any policies and procedures for that type of thing? Is the person already infected? Are they getting hacked daily? You have no idea, and now you're putting your data on that device as well. So there's some huge security concerns there. Along with, if you're HIPAA compliant, or if you allow them to process credit card transactions on their phone, now you're talking PCI. Is that data walking out? Is there a copy left on their device? Is that device secure, encrypted? Does it have antivirus, ransomware protection? When they leave your employ, if there's anything left on that device, do you have the ability to wipe it? So, and then what happens if there is data on there, it's not protected, and they lose their phone? Happens all the time. So you have a lack of control. There's no way to easily force updates. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm using an iPhone 4. Is that okay? No, not with your critical data. iPhone 4, and of course that's an exaggeration, but I've seen folks using ancient iOS devices. I've seen folks using ancient iOS devices, Android devices as well. So don't think that's too extreme. I mean, people will use devices until they die. And if you're putting your business data on that device, now your data is at risk. So you need to take these things into account. All right. If you do allow BYOD, bring your own device, here are some policies that you should cover. Make sure you have this printed. If you didn't print it, it didn't happen. If you didn't write it down and they didn't sign it, policies weren't in effect. So make sure you have a policy on this. Approved device types and uses. What OS are you going to require? Hey, it needs to be iOS 18. Okay, great. Anything that can't run 18 can't be on our network. Hey, it's got to be Windows 11. If you've got Windows 11 Pro, we're good. Mac OS, Android, whatever. Just make sure you've got that listed. And I would probably list it as an iOS rather than, hey, we support the Samsung Galaxy 21. I probably wouldn't do that because people aren't required to update their OS. And many people, tinfoil hats. I'm not going to update because then they can track me. Yeah. If you're going to be in PCI, HIPAA compliance, if you're going to be working for someone that requires these things, it's done. You're being tracked. Hit the microphone again. Sorry. Your worst fears are probably being realized. Become independently wealthy and then go off the grid on your own. Until that point, yes, you have to list the OS and the uses. So what are they allowed to use? What are they allowed to do? Hey, you can access your email from your personal device. Great. But no EHR, no electronic health records. It's up to you. I know a lot of small practices that take posture video on their phone. If you've ever been into plastic surgery, they take video on their phones. Now, theoretically, plastic surgeons are at a high enough level. They've got an IT person behind the scenes, and that data is being uploaded directly to their EMR, electronic medical records software, and it's being wiped from that device. You need to take similar practices. So what are they allowed to do on their personal device, whether that's a phone, a tablet, or a PC? You need to define that. Required software. Oh, by the way, if you're going to work from home, I require antivirus, ransomware protection, malware protection. Then you get into who's providing that. Are you providing it? Are you paying for it? You require encryption. Hey, you've got to have your device encrypted. You've got to, when you walk away from your PC, you've got to lock your computer, or you've got to have a 6-digit PIN on your phone. Some really simple things you've got to put on there. What you're actually going to require. So there's no ambiguity. You don't want someone, well, I didn't know you wanted that. Lay it out there, have them read it, have them sign it. And then restrictions on data storage. You know what? You may take these videos, but they're, pardon me. You may take these videos, but you're not allowed to store them locally. They can't go to your cloud. They can't go to Google's cloud or wherever else. Lay that out there and then make sure that's the case. Pardon me. And then access rules. Who can access what? What can they access? Etc. Offboarding procedures. You need to have the ability. It would be nice, either when you escort them out or what have you, to wipe your data from their computer, from their phone, from their tablet. You need that ability, especially if you have compliance-related data. You need that ability. You need the employee's consent and acknowledgement of these policies and procedures and anything else you think you need in there. Now, tools do exist to address all of these concerns, to allow you to remote wipe the device, and not just the entire device, possibly just your data, your applications, email, etc. So don't feel like, oh, how am I going to enforce this? There are tools out there. They're not outrageously expensive. And all of this can be really difficult to enforce without a tool, because inevitably someone's going to not come in Monday morning and great, they're never coming back. I can't wipe their device, and you're stuck. All right. Alternatives. If you don't allow BYOD, what do? Well, you provide a locked down device for your employees. I can tell you that I do this. I have a combination in my business. I provide their computers for every employee, whether that's Mac or Windows. I provide the device. I lock it down. I protect it. It's considered the business device, but I do allow them to bring their own phone to the practice. We do require certain things on those phones, and I have the ability through software again to remove all access to any tools on demand. We have a policy that if someone decides to quit or move on or what have you, that day one, as soon as we're notified of that, we wipe all of their access completely. It's just a policy. You would want to think about something like that as well, but have the ability to remove their access to their email and anything else that gives them access to your business, your data, or your patient data as well. And you can force management for their personal device. So if they bring, you're going to require them to use their personal device in your practice, great. You can then also say, if you want to use that personal device, understand my benefit too. I'll pay for this, but we're going to manage that device. And then if you leave, we will wipe our data off of it. Again, not really expensive, but it is something that you can do instead of just going willy-nilly. So, BYOD isn't always a good idea. It isn't always a bad idea. It's really up to you to decide how valuable is your data, how much do you trust that person, what function are they in? If they're your janitor, do you really give them access to everything? Of course not. But if they're your operations manager, if they're someone that is doing that is expected, a lot is expected of, sure, you trust them, you give them some additional guidelines, and you allow yourself the ability to manage that device as well. Now, if you need help creating a quality BYOD policy, reach out to us. You'll see the website, cybersafe.com, and you can reach out to us and we'll offer you a free consultation and start putting your policy together. All right. And now the news. Making the news this week, your AT&T data breach. You remember that one in 2021 where we were hacked back in, I believe it was 2018. They found it. They realized, whoops, all our data was gone back in 2018. They told us about it in 2021. And you remember the check you got for that, right? Wrong. Nobody got a check for that. And hence why I'm so passionate about protecting your data. Really bothers me when someone that we don't have any ability to tell them they can't control our data loses it. They don't secure it correctly or what have you. Well, that check you didn't get back in 2021 when they noticed the hack, well, that data is back in the news. And this time, what's someone done? They've taken all the data. Turns out the passwords were encrypted. Your date of birth was encrypted. Well, someone did the computations enough. They've got your phone number lined up with your unencrypted social security number, lined up with your unencrypted database, your date of birth, as well as your address and everything else AT&T knew about you. And they've lined it all up so it's nice and easy to use. They're trying to charge $200,000 for it. And there's about 49 million records where they have all of that data. So that's still a huge thing, huge number of people. The article I read was like, oh, it's massively down. Yeah, it's down 50% from the original hack number, but 49 million. Anyone else want to be punished for using AT&T? Not me. So that's what's in the news. Part of the AT&T hack, if you haven't already, you've probably already lost control of your account, but change your AT&T password. That was also exposed as part of it. And just, the best thing I can say is whenever you get the opportunity, require your vendors to be more secure. And remember the good old days when all you had to worry about was, hey, is my PC hacked? Do I have a problem on my PC? No, I'm good. I didn't go to a bad site. I didn't do bad things. Well, sorry. Now those days are gone. Even if you have antivirus, ransomware, malware protection, everything else on your personal device, but you have a cheap TV on the wall, and there's a list of them. You have a cheap Android device. Now, when you think Android device, don't just think phone. It could be, hey, I bought an off-brand tablet for my kid to play with. I don't care if it lasts 6 months. Well, that could be a concern. I bought a cheap phone, an off-brand phone. Well, if you bought any device that runs Android as its OS, turns out there is software that could already be installed on there. If your device is not Google Store certified, you could be already hacked. They could be watching your network, and they're using your network to try to hack others. So that if they ever get found out, where do they go? To your IP address at your house or your place of business. So be careful. If you're buying these ultra cheap, please don't. Buy your devices from name brand companies. At least it doesn't have to be top of the line. You don't have to get a Sony, but buy from Samsung, buy from Google, Motorola. If you're buying a phone, if you're buying a TV, get a name brand, get a Roku, get a, something you can trust. Don't go. Hisense was mentioned in the article, and I know that that's a popular brand. Be careful with what you actually buy. This becomes an IoT, Internet of Things. It's something that you have in your house or your practice, your business, that is an intelligent Wi-Fi enabled device, and suddenly you're getting hacked because of it. So it's not just your PCs anymore. And if you have a smart office, smart practice, smart business office, get a router, get a managed firewall. They're really cheap these days. They're not expensive. They're easy to configure. If you need help, again, reach out to us, leave a comment down below, and put your Internet of Things devices on a separate network so that they don't see all your traffic, so that in case you did buy something or there's something that is already hacked, your smart TV is hacked, you can have it on a different network and it's not going to affect your business, your practice, and your data. All right. And then if that wasn't enough, there was another article about digital video recorders. It's truly virtually the same thing, but these digital video recorders were hacked. The abbreviation is DVR. Don't think my DVR, I'm watching a Blu-ray or whatever. Not the same thing. Think cameras. I'm recording this with my camera up here, and that's what's being hacked. There's a vulnerability in them. They're getting in there, and they are then they could be watching you. They could be listening to you, everything you're doing and saying, and you're then getting your data hacked because you have a digital video device on your desk that, like me, you do podcasts with. So again, you want to avoid this, buy name brand. Buy a company that has a reputation to lose. On Amazon, if that's where you order from or wherever you get your devices, I hate those devices that have X, Y, N. I'm like, where are the vowels? If you can't pronounce it, if you don't know where it came from, don't buy it. Buy something from name brand stores and validate it. Look at the reviews. Make sure it's got thousands, not tens or even hundreds of reviews. Make sure they're all quality reviews, or just buy name brand. Don't save a buck to lose all your data. All right. That's it for this week's news. Yeah, get out your duct tape and your tinfoil hat. Sorry, folks, but that's the way it is. Check out our website, CyberSafe News and Views. If you are truly into doing this yourself, you can look at our tech notes on the cybersafenewsandviews.com website. Our tech notes is for the DIYer. If you want to do this and really just take our direction, get a list of what do I need to do this month. This is a monthly subscription where we give you really a breakdown of exactly what you need to do in a constant format. $18.95, very chiropractic number, and we will give you this document, this 2-page document, what to work on next. And then also, if you're interested, our last podcast was on email security, and our upcoming webinar is on June 17th. June 17th, we will go into a deep dive. Is your inbox under attack? How do you spot and stop email threats with a complete question and answer time? So you're going to have the ability to ask all your questions, forward your emails to us, and we'll look through them. But in education, it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. We look forward to seeing you there. And then lastly, we also have on that same website our ebook, where we talk about a NIST document, what the small healthcare office needs to do. Very appropriate also for your small business. So look those up, sign up for those. All of that is as free except the tech notes, and that's $18.95 a month. If you have any comments or questions, please leave us a comment down below. We answer all questions. If you thought this content was valuable, please share with your friends. And until next time, stay cyber safe. Thanks.